Hello folks, and welcome back. Sorry, I'm not doing very well with these weekly updates. It's been 3 or 4 months since the last one. This edition is a special one because I've got an infection that begins with the word C. Tested positive this morning, and so I'm in isolation for 7 days at least, and more workshop time. So I've got a bunch of new stickers, got a whole new sticker board, and before I show you the new ones, don't forget that I'm willing to do a sticker swap with anyone, or if you're just a viewer and you'd like me to send you a sticker, let me know, and we'll get one sent out to you. I'll zoom in on this board and show you the new ones. So here we are, from top to bottom. We've got Stephen Lang at Shark River Machine, I'm sure you've heard of him. Myford Boy, I'm sure you've heard of him. Next one is Oscar at Off Hours Engineering, and he's into his CNC and motor drivers and all that kind of stuff. Next one along is Ollie's Workshop. He's got his electric lawnmower build going on in the background, and he's just changed the motor over on his lathe, so that's worth a watch, that video. Next row down we've got Greg at My Little Mule, and Dream Steam, Sierra Specialty Auto. And we've got Amateur Redneck Workshop, Harold. I think he's changed now to ARW or AR Workshop. Next line down we've got Eccentric Engineering. They're the guys that do the diamond tool holder. And John S.Al, which is a new one to me, so I need to go and check that out. We've got Dean at the Air Cave Shop. He's got a good channel that he's had for a long time. Engineers Workshop is another new one to me, and I can tell already that it's going to be good. This sticker came from DJ at Foxburg's, and he's Engineers Workshop's just picked up a shaper a few months ago now, but he's been making use of it. He's also picked up a CNC mill recently, which looked like it needed a bit of a clean-up. But yeah, I've got a bit of a back catalogue there to watch. EC Workshop there is Ed Cude, and he likes his fishing. He's been building something to work with a transducer for his to help him with his fishing. And at the bottom here we've got a US flag, Stars and Stripes. That came, I believe that came from Tom at Hilltop Machine, and last time I had stickers through I didn't have room to paste it on the board, so this is a new board, and there we go. That's the stickers. I want to show you a few of the areas in the workshop, just to give you an update on the status of things. Nothing major has happened in the last 3 or 4 months, but since there's been such a long time, and because there's been a few minor updates around the place, and I've just tidied up, it's probably a good time to just bring everybody up to date. So this shot is designed to show you the clean room, and to show you that these 2 walls are still not yet lined. I wanted to get those done before the worst of winter, and we're in the first couple of weeks of winter now, so it's a very good time to bump it to the top of the list. And this area was timber rack all the way up to this edge, and in front of that I had all my metal stock stored on the floor, and this had become a major tripping hazard. I've squashed the wood up to one end, and I've moved the metal stock. I'll show you that in a minute, and I have a plan for that metal stock, and I've installed a weights rack so that we've got somewhere that's a bit of a home gym area. So this was in a terrible state when I picked it up. This is a Rogue RML 390F, which is the flat foot style, and it's a really nicely made, USA made rack, and yeah, it was pretty terrible when I got it, and I've stripped it and refinished it and restored it. I got it for a very good price. So this area is a bit of a mess, but this is all the metal stock, and that was what was there. You are where the weights rack is now, and this is kind of the lathe corner, and I'm struggling to get access to my lathes. This one and the MCO in the back, they are not yet running, but the Primo is accessible, needs a clean, but I can roll these things out of the way and get to the Primo if I need to. These 3 piles of metal will live under a workbench that I've just built. And this shaper is on pause. I've not progressed this in the last few months. This is ready to work on, but it needs me to be ready to work on it. I need more time and energy. And here we've got my new workbench. This is the steel that I bought from Emma in, I think it was November. It's 1 inch thick, and it's 4 feet by 3.5 feet, and it's on 4 inch square legs. That's 1220 by 1050 and 100mm legs. And it's sized, as you can see, so that I can get a pallet jack underneath and scoot it around, and it's great. This thing weighs about 300 kilograms as is, but I've got some heavy duty drawer slides. I'll zoom in on those in a minute and show you the plan. And this is in shot because this surface plate, although it's rubber covered, this was being used as a catch-all, and that was a really bad idea. So having a bench set up is a good idea. Yeah, this is a closer look at the bench. It's not perfect, and there are pits in the surface, but the high points all form a pretty good plane. And with a straight edge across here, you can't get a very big feeler gauge in. So it's perfectly good for welding, and that's the intention. I need something that I can clamp to and that is rigid enough not to flex when the welds pull with heat input. Now I've got some heavy duty 800mm drawer slides here, and these are going to go underneath. I'm making four drawers, about 75mm or 3 inches deep, and they're going to be the full size of this. And each pair of these can hold my weight, so should be good enough for a tray full of steel. And that's where all the steel that you saw on the steel carts is going to live. The other thing you can see on here is some M20 rod. This is threaded rod. Get that to focus. This is threaded rod, mild steel. It's I've got some tall nuts as well that go with it. These are not quite as big as coupling nuts, but going to come up with some kind of leveling foot mechanism using those. And then over here you can see I've got my G-clamps all sort of laid in a pile, because the intention is to get a piece of pipe and weld it between the two legs on the right and have a clamp rack. So all my clamps are handy on my welding bench, and that should be pretty useful. This bench is clear for the first time in a long time. It was holding a bunch of those G-clamps for a while. I need to give this thing a clean up, this arbor press, and I need to make one of those round plates with the cutouts to allow clearance through. Probably a coat of paint and clean up all the rusty bits, but it is otherwise a pretty good arbor press. Wouldn't mind making a new handle for it too. This bench was my previous welding bench, and it's just not big enough, just not thick enough, and the surface area isn't enough. This is 1200 by 600, or 4 feet by 2 feet, and it's fine for little TIG projects and things, but not ideal to clamp to, and not ideal for welding frames and panels and things together because of this vise that's in the way. It will, however, make a really nice general purpose bench, and for that reason I've installed a screwdriver rack and a plier rack on the top here. This just means I can grab things without searching through a drawer, and got somewhere handy to put things back, and so I'm not cluttering up the bench. The welder is just there, and I think it's going to live there even though the welding bench is now going to be in the middle of the room, just because of convenience. So this area has changed as well. I've got the red drawers now are in use, and they're all filled with mechanics tools and all that kind of stuff. And these were the drawers that I bought from Emma, and I've got needle files and Allen keys and files on their own racks now, so they're easy access. And I bought this set of drawers too, which is very, very heavy even when it's empty. but all of these drawers are full extension and on bearings, and they are separate trays as well. So I can carry a tray of washers and O-rings to the table and put them away easily. And they've all got label sockets, and I made a little frame on the base, which you should be able to see, which is just some bits of timber bridle jointed and some casters. I've had to put it on a pad so that the whole thing tilts back just a few degrees so that the drawers don't fall open. The floor in here isn't perfect, but this set of drawers is very nearly perfect. Really love those. This area hasn't changed much, but I am really content with having the tooling cabinet right there between the mill and the lathes. The bandsaw just happens to fit in that socket there, and when I've got a bit more floor space, the bandsaw will get a better place to live. This is the first time in a while that my bandsaw, table saw and workbench have been clear and available for use. They've just been used as storage for so long, and I had the great idea to move these three things about 600 mil that way so that I can actually walk behind the bench and get to my power tools. I've got routers and saws and sanders and jigsaws and that kind of stuff underneath. And I've now moved all of my hand tools into this cabinet. I'll give you a close-up on that. This overhead power thing for the table and the table saw and the bandsaw has worked really well. That's connected to the floor joists above, so that's pretty solid. Got a big lag screw going through, and yeah, I'm quite excited just to have access to this area. It's pretty cool. Nothing's really changed as far as the thicknesser and jointer and clamps and dust extractor go. This is all how I want it, and I'm pretty happy with that. The area behind the bench is all insulation, and this is going to be installed to all the walls around this place. So it's going to be there for a while as I pick off wall at a time doing insulation. And my carpet tiles are here and the external doors are here, and I've got some junk here that needs to go. But this has become a bit of a catch-all area. Not for long, hopefully. I am pretty pleased with how this area's gone. I've got my all my battery gear in the top of here, and I've got a recip saw and an SDS drill and another hammer drill in the bottom there. So this is all drilling gear. You know, I've got screws and fixings in there as well, but drill bits and driver bits, masonry bits, brad point bits, that kind of gear. And the drill press is right there. So all this stuff is within arm's reach of each other. And over here, I know this is a mechanic's chest, but I just love these types of drawers, and I want to use them for all of my tools basically. And they just work so well for so many things. I've got all my chisels and rasps and abrasives, router and table saw stuff, marking and measuring that's specific to woodwork, nailers, mallets, planes, and that system works really well. I'd buy these style of drawers every single time given the chance. They cost a bit, but that's really the only downside. And you can buy them second hand. Most of mine is second hand. This one was bought new but dented, and I can't find the dent, but you know, they work really well. And here we've got some framing timber and some hardwood for my shelves, and some smaller offcuts of nicer woods that I haven't got a home for yet. Come here. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. All right, thanks for watching. I realise this is not a very exciting update, but people have been asking how I'm doing and what I'm up to and so on, so I thought I'd do an update. I might see about getting a project video out in the next few weeks, but I'm never going to make any promises again on this channel, so take that with a pinch of salt. Cheers.